Hello and welcome back to another video in the world of Monster Hunter. This is King of Thunder, and I'm actually really excited to share a lot of the Light Bowgun builds, simply because, probably wrong, but it's my opinion and I will stick by it because, you know, it's my opinion. But until Arch-Templed Kulturov and we got the Kjárr weapons and AT Xeno, I personally didn't really find the Light Bowgun worth it at all. There were too many stringent things that forced you to build a certain way, and the end result, although was okay, wasn't the best, especially when compared to what Light Bowgun used to be like in a lot of the previous games. I kind of feel like what has happened to Light Bowguns in World was a straight nerf. However, I do feel that has been completely fixed and maybe even buffed up a little bit from previous games with the Kjárr weapons and adding in AT Xeno. So, first of all, this is the Kjárr Blitz Thunder, and it is actually, well, they're all the Kjárr elemental or critical elemental weapons are really good and a definite meta shifter for a lot of the range. Bow just needs to be nerfed a little bit, and probably Glutton as well, but I'm not really going to argue too much. I like my range. So without further ado, while I'm absolutely messing up this Xeno'jiiva, let us have a look at the skills and equipment. Right, so with these builds, I've actually tried to build up as much affinity as possible without relying on weakness exploits, so what you're going to see is a bit odd. So, the Kjárr Blitz Thunder, we're going to have an expert decoration and a health augment, simply because the health return on rapid fire elemental shots is absolutely insane, and we are running peak performance on this build. If you're really awesome at dodging and iframing, do feel free to put an affinity augment in there to get the 100% affinity. But, you know, after that we have the Xeno'jiiva Gamma helmet with Mighty and 2 expert, Empress Beta chest with 3 expert, Xeno'jiiva Beta gloves with 2 Mighty and an expert, Gala waist with a released true shot and bolt. If you're not too comfortable in using those mines a lot of the time, do feel free to swap out that true shot for attack perhaps, or vitality. Essentially it's a random slot you can do what you want with. And then the Xeno'jiiva boots, tenderizer and bolt, 2 of them. And rounding it all off, we have the awakening charm, 3. In total, this gives us obviously critical element and spare shot, critical eye level 7, free element level 3, maximum might level 3, thunder attack level 3, blight resistant is byproduct of the armor, power prolonger byproduct of the armor, peak performance level 2, special ammo boost level 2 or level 1 depending on what you want, slinging capacity is byproduct, critical boost and weakness exploit both at level 1. This build does hit pretty darn hard consecutively as a sustained DPS. So it's, honestly, I would argue that Light Bowguns are possibly in the best place they have ever been at the moment, and I'm really getting into them. So be prepared for more Light Bowgun builds. I'll be getting them up as quickly as possible. Now, the reason I have gone for, or tried to go for, as much affinity without the use of weakness exploit is simply because the mobility style of Light Bowgun kind of dictates, because you can't really block, and if you get hit you're going to take a lot because it's your Light Bowgun. Same with bow, but bow kicks out a lot more damage, that has more capability to KO, stun lock, etc, etc, etc. So like I was saying, the reason I've gone for high affinity without this exploit, it basically just gives you the ability to have high affinity regardless of where you're hitting, so you're optimally doing as much damage as possible regardless. Obviously, due to weakness exploit and hit zone values, it is preferable for you to hit the weak points, such as on the Rathalos, the head, which This is an annoying one because eventually Rathian turns up, and yeah, that just becomes a whole new level of so much fun. But it doesn't mean that it's 100% required to hit the head. It's heavily suggested, but you don't have to. You can hit anywhere and still do pretty darn decent damage. So at this point, it's a great entry level for Light Bowgun, as well as a great option for veteran players, or well, really anyone. Light Bowgun are now just very, very good. They're easy to use, they got great sustained DPS, they have good utility because they have obviously ailments, sleep, paralysis and poison if you so choose, but they're just generally in a really, really good place. So I do recommend them at this point, simply just because they're just really good. I don't really know how else to just express just how good they are and just how much fun you can now have with a Light Bowgun. And I do feel personally that everyone should be picking up a Light Bowgun at this point. My wife used to be a Light Bowgun main in Monster Hunter 4U, and she absolutely hated Light Bowgun until AT Xeno and the Kjárr weapons. She has since recently got back into Light Bowgun and she's quite enjoying it. She's been a hunting horn main the whole way through World, so she's got to learn the controls a bit more now. But generally speaking, yeah, these weapons, the Kjárr ones, are awesome, especially the Light Bowguns, and I hope to be sharing more builds about them and with you guys pretty darn soon. But anyway, in the meantime, have fun, good luck, and don't die.